Imagine standing at the edge of one of the world's most powerful waterfalls, feeling the mist on your face as millions of gallons cascade over the precipice every single minute. Picture yourself on a ferry approaching the Statue of Liberty, that iconic symbol of freedom and hope rising from New York Harbor. Envision walking the cobblestone streets where American independence was born, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, where the foundations of democracy were laid. From the cosmopolitan energy of Toronto to the raw power of Niagara Falls, from the political heart of Washington, D.C. to the revolutionary streets of Philadelphia and Boston, from the vertical magnificence of Manhattan to the tranquil beauty of Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard. This is a journey through the Northeast, where history lives and breathes, where nature displays its awesome power, where cities pulse with energy and coastal communities offer peaceful refuge. Toronto, Canada's largest city with a metropolitan population of over 5 million people. The most multicultural city in the world, where over 200 ethnic origins are represented and more than 140 languages are spoken. This isn't just a Canadian city, this is a global city, a place where the world comes together, where diversity isn't just tolerated but celebrated, where cultures blend and create something uniquely Toronto. The city's skyline is dominated by one unmistakable structure, the CN Tower. Standing about 2,000 feet tall, this communications and observation tower was the world's tallest freestanding structure for 32 years, from its completion in 1976 until 2007. The tower was built by Canadian National Railway, hence CN, originally to solve communication problems caused by Toronto's growing forest of skyscrapers that were interfering with television and radio transmission. Downtown Toronto pulses with energy and commerce. The financial district, centered around Bay Street, Canada's Wall Street, contains the headquarters of Canada's major banks and corporations. Glass and steel skyscrapers reached for the sky, each trying to outdo the others in height and architectural ambition. The Path, an underground pedestrian walkway system spanning over 30 kilometers, connects subway stations, office towers, hotels and shopping centers, allowing people to navigate much of downtown without ever stepping outside. The Distillery district represents Toronto's successful transformation of industrial heritage into cultural destination. This collection of Victorian-era industrial buildings, once the Gooderham and Worth Distillery, the largest distillery in the British Empire, has been converted into a pedestrian-only village of galleries, restaurants, boutiques, and performance spaces. The harbour front along Lake Ontario's shoreline offers a completely different Toronto experience. Here, the city meets the water, yacht clubs, parks, cultural venues like the Harbourfront Centre with its year-round programming of arts and culture, and beautiful waterfront paths for walking, cycling, or simply watching the boats on the lake. The Toronto Islands, accessible by a short ferry ride, provide beaches, parks, an amusement park, and stunning views back to the city's skyline. An escape from urban intensity while remaining remarkably close to downtown. Kensington Market, with its bohemian vibe and Victorian houses converted into vintage clothing shops, cafes and ethnic food stores, has been a center of immigrant culture since the early 1900s. Today, it's a delightful, chaotic mix of cultures, cuisines and communities, selling everything from live seafood to exotic fruits. The South Market building, with its distinctive red brick facade, houses over 120 vendors selling everything from fresh produce to artisanal cheeses, from specialty meats to prepared foods from dozens of cuisines. This is where people come not to just shop, but to eat, to socialize, to connect with food and community in a way that supermarkets can never replicate. What makes Toronto special isn't just its size or diversity or attractions, it's the feeling of the place. Unlike some cities that feel aggressive or overwhelming, Toronto manages to be cosmopolitan while remaining approachable. It's a city that works, where public transit functions efficiently, where neighborhoods maintain their character, where you can find exceptional food from virtually any culture on earth, where people from every corner of the globe have made home. As we leave Toronto, heading south toward one of nature's most spectacular displays of power, we carry with us the memory of a city that embodies the best of urban life, vibrant, cultured, and welcoming. It has carved out its own identity as one of North America's greatest cities, and those who know it understand that Toronto is a treasure worth discovering. The sound reaches you before you see it, a low, continuous roar like distant thunder that never stops. Then the mist appears, rising like smoke from some massive fire. And then suddenly you're standing at the railing, and before you is one of the most powerful, most spectacular natural phenomena on Earth, Niagara Falls. Not one waterfall, but three, the American Falls and the smaller Bridal Veil Falls on the American side, and the massive Horseshoe Falls on the Canadian side. Together, they form Niagara Falls, where the entire volume of the Great Lakes, Superior, Michigan, Huron, and Erie funnels through the Niagara River and plunges over a 167-foot drop in a display of raw natural power that defies adequate description. The statistics are staggering, almost incomprehensible. During peak daytime, tourist hours in summer, 750,000 gallons of water cascade over the falls every second. That's enough water to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool in less than 4 seconds. The mind struggles to process these numbers, and ultimately the numbers don't matter. What matters is standing there, feeling the ground vibrate from the impact of all that falling water, feeling the mist on your face, hearing the thunderous roar, and understanding viscerally the incredible power of nature. The Horseshoe Falls, viewed from the Canadian side, which unquestionably offers the best views, stretches more than 2,000 feet across in a graceful curve, hence the name. The curtain of water falling over the edge is hypnotic, mesmerizing, almost alive in the way it moves and shifts. The color is extraordinary, a deep turquoise green caused by dissolved salts and finely ground rock floor from the erosion of the falls themselves. At the base, where the water crashes down, an enormous cloud of mist rises continuously, sometimes creating rainbows when the sun hits it at the right angle. Double rainbows, even triple rainbows on exceptional days, arcing over the falls like nature's own benediction. The Maid of the Mist boat tour, operating since 1846, making it one of the oldest tourist attractions in North America, takes visitors into the very heart of the falls. You board the boat wearing a poncho that will prove completely inadequate for what's coming. The boat approaches the American Falls first, close enough that you can see individual streams of water, feel the spray, hear the thunderous impact. Then it continues to the Horseshoe Falls, and here the experience becomes almost overwhelming. The boat enters the curve of the Horseshoe, surrounded on three sides by falling water. The mist so thick you can barely see. The roar so loud you can hear the person next to you, even if they're shouting. You're soaked despite the poncho. You're laughing or screaming or just standing there in awe, completely overwhelmed by the sheer power and scale of what you're experiencing. This is nature at its most spectacular, its most powerful, its most humbling. At night, the falls are illuminated by powerful LED lights, transforming the white water into shifting colors: blue, red, purple, green. It's artificial, yes, but it's also spectacular. The falls take on a completely different character after dark, becoming ethereal, almost magical. But Niagara Falls isn't just a natural wonder, it's also a testament to human ingenuity and folly in equal measure. The falls have been a tourist destination since the early 800s, and the area has seen everything from tasteful appreciation to tacky commercialization. The Canadian side, Niagara Falls, Ontario, has embraced tourism with enthusiastic abandon. The Clifton Hill area is a riot of neon, wax museum, haunted houses, arcades and restaurants, creating a Las Vegas-like atmosphere that some find fun and others find garish. The American side, Niagara Falls, New York, has struggled more with urban decay and economic challenges, though the state park immediately around the falls is beautifully maintained. The falls are also an enormous source of hydroelectric power. About 50–75% of the Niagara River's flow is diverted through tunnels to hydroelectric generating stations before reaching the falls. Geologically, Niagara Falls is relatively young and temporary. The falls were formed about 10,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age, when meltwaters from the Lake Erie carved through the Niagara escarpment. Today, with flow control and various engineering interventions, erosion has been slowed dramatically, but it continues. Tens of thousands of years from now, the falls will have eroded all the way back to Lake Erie and will cease to exist. But that's so far in the future that it's almost incomprehensible from our human perspective. Standing at Niagara Falls, you're witnessing something that connects you to millions of people across centuries. As we leave the falls, the roar fading behind us, the mist clearing, we carry that feeling of having witnessed something truly extraordinary. Hundreds of thousands gallons per second of raw natural power, beauty on a scale that cameras can never fully capture, and memories that will last a lifetime. Washington, District of Columbia, not a state, but a federal district, created specifically to serve as the nation's capital, ensuring that no single state would hold the seat of American government. Designed by French engineer Pierre-Charles L'Enfant in 1791, with wide avenues radiating from circles and squares, monuments and memorials anchoring vistas, the city was conceived as a symbol of the new republic, organized, rational, dignified and impressive. Today, Washington, D.C. is all that and more, a city of approximately 700,000 residents with a metropolitan area of over 5 million. It's a city of power and politics, of monuments and museums, of protesters and politicians, of history preserved and history being made every single day. This is where laws are written, when Supreme Court decisions are handed down, where the president lives and works, where democracy, messy, argumentative, frustrating, and essential, happens in full view. The National Mall, stretching about 2 miles from U.S. Capitol to the Lincoln Memorial, is America's front yard. The symbolic heart of the nation. Standing at Capitol End, looking west down the mall, you see the Washington Monument rising 555 feet, still the world's tallest predominantly stone structure and the tallest obelisk on Earth. Beyond it, the Lincoln Memorial glows white at the far end. This vista has been the setting for some of America's most important moments. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, delivered from the Lincoln Memorial steps in 1963, with about 250,000 people filling the mall. Presidential inaugurations, protests, celebrations, commemorations. If it matters to America, it happens here. The U.S. Capitol building, with its distinctive dome topped by the Statue of Freedom, is where Congress meets. The Senate in the North Wing, the House of Representatives in the South Wing. It has been built, burned by the British in 1814, rebuilt and expanded numerous times over its history. The Capitol Rotunda, beneath the Great Dome, features massive paintings depicting key moments in American history, and Costantino Brumidi's fresco The Apotheosis of Washington, painted on the canopy of the dome 180 feet above the floor. The White House at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue needs no introduction, the most famous address in America, perhaps the world, home and office of every U.S. president. Since John Adams in 1800, George Washington never lived there, though he oversaw its construction. The neoclassical mansion, with its iconic columns and porticos, appears smaller in person than many visitors expect. It's impressive but not overwhelming, befitting a republic rather than a monarchy. The Washington Monument, that towering obelisk honoring America's first president, took nearly a century to complete. If you look carefully at the marble, about 150 feet up, you can see a slight color change where construction was halted for over 2 decades. The Lincoln Memorial, that Greek temple housing Daniel Chester French's massive seated statue of Abraham Lincoln, is perhaps the most emotionally powerful monument in Washington. Lincoln sits 19 feet tall, carved from Georgia marble, his expression both strong and compassionate, gazing out toward the Washington Monument and the Capitol beyond. On the walls, the Gettysburg Address and Lincoln's second inaugural address are inscribed, words that still resonate with power and meaning. This isn't just a monument to a president. It's a memorial to the idea that all men are created equal, that a nation conceived in liberty can survive its greatest test. The The World War II Memorial, the newest of the major mall monuments dedicated in 2004, honors the 16 million Americans who served and the 400,000 who died in that global conflict. The memorial's design, with its granite pillars representing each state and territory, its fountains and reflecting pool, creates a sense of both celebration and solemn remembrance, a touch that veterans recognize and appreciate. The Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, featuring a 30-foot statue of Dr. King emerging from the Mountain of Despair, honors the civil rights leader with powerful symbolism and quotations from his speeches and writings inscribed on the walls. The Thomas Jefferson Memorial, set on the tidal basin and particularly beautiful during the cherry blossom season, houses a 19-foot bronze statue of Jefferson. The memorial's design echoes Jefferson's own architectural style. He designed his home Monticello at the University of Virginia, particularly its domed rotunda. The walls feature excerpts from Jefferson's writings, including the Declaration of Independence, which he primarily authored. Jefferson was a complex figure, author of soaring words about liberty and equality while himself being a slaveholder, and the memorial grapples with this complexity through its exhibits. The National Museum of American History houses the actual Star-Spangled Banner that inspired Francis Scott Key's anthem, the original Kermit the Frog, Julia Child's Kitchen, and countless artifacts that tell America's story. The National Air and Space Museum displays the Wright brothers' 1903 flyer, the Apollo 11 command module that took humans to the moon. The Supreme Court building, directly across from the Capitol, is where 9 justices interpret the Constitution and make decisions that shape American law and society. The words "equal justice under law" are inscribed above the entrance. Inside, when court is in session, you can observe oral arguments, watching the justices question attorneys, debate points of law, engage with cases that affect millions of Americans. This is the judicial branch in action, and the solemnity and intelligence of the proceedings reminds visitors that the rule of law is what separates democracy from tyranny. Arlington National Cemetery, just across the Potomac River in Virginia. This is where military members from every American conflict since the Civil War are buried, along with presidents, Supreme Court justices, astronauts, and notable Americans. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier honors all unidentified American service members. But Washington, D.C. is more than monuments and museums. It's a real city where real people live and work. Buzzes with embassies, galleries, bookstores, and cafes. The city's food scene has exploded in recent years, with acclaimed chefs opening restaurants, food halls offering diverse cuisines, and farmers' markets showcasing local produce. Washington, D.C. represents American ideals, liberty, equality, democracy, justice, while simultaneously revealing how difficult it is to live up to those ideals. The monuments celebrate great leaders, while exhibitions and memorials acknowledge the failures and injustices, slavery, segregation, the treatment of Native Americans, the exclusion of women from full citizenship for much of American history. The city is a constant reminder that democracy is not a finished project, but an ongoing struggle, that justice requires vigilance, that liberty demands protection. Washington, D.C. is where America remembers its past, debates its present, and tries to shape its future. And every American, indeed every person who values democracy and freedom, has a stake in what happens here. Philadelphia. The name means City of Brotherly Love, from the Greek philos, meaning love, and adelphos, meaning brother. This is where American independence was conceived, debated, declared, and defended. This is where the Declaration of Independence was signed and the Constitution was written. This is America's birthplace, and walking these streets is walking through the very foundation of the nation. Independence National Historical Park contains the buildings and sites where American democracy was born. Independence Hall, a modest Georgian building in red brick, seems almost too small to unassuming to have hosted events of such world-changing magnitude. 56 men signed the Declaration of Independence on August 2, 1776, committing treason against the British Crown and birthing a new nation founded on the revolutionary idea that governments derive their power from the consent of the governed, not from divine right of hereditary privilege. The Declaration of Independence, primarily authored by Thomas Jefferson with input from John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and others, is one of the most important documents in human history. Its words are so familiar they've lost some of their revolutionary power, but read them fresh. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In 1776, these were not self-evident truths, they were radical claims that challenged the entire existing world order. Most of the world lived under monarchies, aristocracies, and empires where rights came from rulers, not from any inherent human dignity. To declare that all men are created equal, that rights are inalienable, that governments exist to secure these rights and derive their legitimacy from the people, this was revolutionary, literally and philosophically. Of course, the contradiction was glaring even then. How could men who declared all men created equal own other men as slaves? This contradiction would haunt America, ultimately requiring a bloody civil war to begin to resolve. But the ideals set forth in Philadelphia in 1776, however imperfectly realized, provided the framework for America's long, difficult, ongoing journey toward actually making those rights real for all Americans. The Liberty Bell, housed in the Liberty Bell Center near Independence Hall, is perhaps America's most iconic symbol of freedom. The bell was commissioned in 1752 for the Pennsylvania State House, cast in London, and first hung in the building's tower. It cracked on its first test ring and had to be recast. The biblical inscription around the top reads, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land, unto all the inhabitants thereof," from Leviticus 25:10. The bell was rung to summon legislators and announce important news, though the famous story of it ringing on July 4th, 1776, to proclaim independence is likely apocryphal. Congress Hall, where the U.S. Congress met from 1790 to 1800, when Philadelphia served as the nation's capital, witnessed the passage of the Bill of Rights and the admission of several new states. The building's modest size is striking. The entire federal government operated from this small building, a reminder of how much the government and nation have grown since then. The National Constitution Center, a modern museum dedicated to the U.S. Constitution, offers interactive exhibits explaining how the Constitution works, its history, and ongoing debates about its interpretations. The Philadelphia Museum of Art, that massive neoclassical building atop the Rocky Steps, made famous by the film Rocky, houses one of America's finest art collections. The building itself is magnificent, and the view from the top of the steps looks down the Benjamin Franklin Parkway toward City Hall, a vista deliberately designed to echo the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Yes, visitors run up the steps and pose with arms raised like Rocky. It's touristy and silly and absolutely mandatory. Reading Terminal Market, operating since 1893, is a food lover's paradise, with many vendors offering everything from Pennsylvania Dutch treats to Thai food, from fresh produce to artisanal cheeses, from Philly cheese sticks to vegan cuisine. This is where Philadelphians shop and eat, and the energy and diversity of the market reflects the city itself. But Philadelphia is more than its historical sites. It's a living city of about 2 million people, the sixth largest city in the United States. Center City's modern skyline rises around City Hall, that magnificent Second Empire building topped by a 40-foot statue of William Penn, founder of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. The city's neighborhoods each have distinct characters: South Philly, working class and proud; Italian market stretching for blocks, with vendors selling produce, meats, cheeses, and specialty items; University City, home to the University of Pennsylvania; Fish Town, formerly working class, now gentrifying with galleries and restaurants; West Philadelphia, with its own rich history and culture. But what makes Philadelphia special, what makes it essential for anyone interested in American history, is the direct, tangible connection to the founding of the nation. These aren't reconstructions or replicas. These are the actual buildings where actual history happened. You walk in the same streets where Benjamin Franklin walked, where Thomas Jefferson debated ideas, where George Washington accepted command of the Continental Army. The cobblestones under your feet, the brick buildings around you, the very air seems thick with history. Philadelphia represents American potential and American contradiction in equal measure. This is where ideals of liberty and equality were proclaimed while slavery continued, where democracy was designed while women and non-property owners couldn't vote, where religious freedom was championed while prejudice persisted. America was not born perfect, but was born with ideals that, however imperfectly realized, continue to inspire people around the world. Frameworks for an ongoing experiment in self-governance that continues to this day. Philadelphia is where that experiment began, and its story is inseparable from America's past. And then there's New York, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, the capital of the world, a city so iconic, so culturally dominant, so endlessly fascinating that entire libraries could be filled with books about it and still not capture its essence. With over 8 million people spread across 5 boroughs covering 300 square miles, New York City isn't just America's largest city, it's arguably the most important city on Earth, the center of finance, media, art, fashion, cuisine, and culture. The New York City skyline is instantly recognizable from countless movies, TV shows, and photographs. That vertical forest of skyscrapers rising from Manhattan Island, each building competing for height and attention, the whole creating a man-made canyon of steel, glass, and ambition. Manhattan, the heart of New York City, is only 22 square miles, yet within this relatively small space is concentrated more wealth, power, culture, and human energy than most entire countries possess. The island is organized on a grid system north of Houston Street, numbered streets running east-west, avenues running north-south. The Statue of Liberty standing on Liberty Island in New York Harbor may be the most recognized symbol in the world. Liberty Enlightening the World, her official name, was a gift from France, designed by Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi and dedicated in 1886. It stands 300 feet from ground to torch tip, her copper skin now oxidized to that distinctive green patina. In her left hand, she holds a tablet inscribed with the date of American independence, July 4th, 1776. In her right hand, a torch held high. At her feet, broken chains symbolizing freedom from oppression. But the Statue of Liberty became something more than her creators intended. For the millions of immigrants who arrived by ship through New York Harbor between the 1880s and the 1920s, Lady Liberty was their first sight of America, a beacon of hope, a promise of opportunity, a symbol that their long, difficult journey might lead to something better. Manhattan's financial district, clustered at the southern tip of the island, is where global finance happens. Wall Street, whose name comes from an actual wooden wall built by Dutch colonists in the 17th century, is synonymous with American capitalism. The New York Stock Exchange, the Nasdaq, countless banks and investment firms, trillions of dollars flow through these streets daily. The Charging Bull sculpture, placed guerrilla style in 1989 and now a permanent fixture, has become an icon of aggressive financial optimism. Tourists line up to photograph it, and Wall Street types rub its horns for luck. The site of the World Trade Center, now known as the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, is sacred ground. The twin reflecting pools, each nearly an acre in size, sit in the footprints of the original Twin Towers, with waterfalls cascading down into voids that seem bottomless. A powerful memorial to the 2,977 people murdered in the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. The names of every victim are inscribed on bronze panels surrounding the pools. The museum underground preserves artifacts, tells stories of that day, and ensures that "never forget" remains more than a slogan. One World Trade Center, rising 1776 feet, the date chosen deliberately, is now the Western Hemisphere's tallest building, a defiant statement that New York cannot be defeated. Times Square, at the intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue, is sensory overload made manifest. Enormous LED screens covering every available surface, advertisements competing for attention, tourists from every nation taking photos, street performers and costumed characters hustling for tips. The energy and chaos turned up to 11. This is the crossroads of the world, where 1 million people pass through daily. It's overwhelming, it's commercial, it's touristy, and it's unmistakably, unforgettably New York. Central Park, 843 acres of green space in the middle of Manhattan, is one of the most famous urban parks in the world. Designed by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux and opened in 1876, the park contains meadows, woodlands, lakes, playgrounds, skating rinks, a zoo, and countless paths for walking, running, and cycling. It's where New Yorkers go to escape the city without leaving it, to picnic, to play, to read, to breathe. The park has appeared in hundreds of films and TV shows. The Bow Bridge, Bethesda Fountain, the Mall, Strawberry Fields, the John Lennon Memorial are all instantly recognizable. The Empire State Building, completed in 1931 during the Great Depression, stood as the world's tallest building for nearly 40 years. At 1454 feet, including its antenna, this Art Deco masterpiece is still one of New York's most recognizable buildings. The observation decks on the 86th and 102nd floors offer spectacular 360-degree views of the city. You can see all 5 boroughs, New Jersey, and on exceptionally clear days, even Pennsylvania. King Kong famously climbed it in the 1933 film, cementing its place in popular culture. The Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum, housed in Frank Lloyd Wright's stunning spiral building, is as much about the architecture as the art. The continuous spiral ramp allows visitors to view art while walking a gentle incline, culminating in a skylight at the top. Wright called it his Temple of Spirit, and experiencing it is like being inside a work of art while viewing other works of art. Fifth Avenue, particularly the stretch from the Empire State Building to Central Park, is one of the world's premier shopping streets. Tiffany & Co., Bergdorf Goodman, Saks Fifth Avenue, luxury retail alongside historic institutions like the New York Public Library, with its iconic stone lions, patience and fortitude guarding the entrance. Grand Central Terminal, completed in 1913, is a transportation infrastructure elevated to art. The main concourse, with its celestial ceiling painted with constellations and zodiac signs, its enormous windows flooding the space with light, its Tennessee marble floors worn smooth by a century of footsteps. This is architecture that treats daily commuters like they deserve beauty and grandeur. Over 750,000 people pass through Grand Central daily, and the Oyster Bar in the lower level has been serving seafood since the terminal opened. Rockefeller Center, that complex of Art Deco buildings built during the Great Depression, epitomizes New York ambition. The plaza below becomes an ice skating rink in winter, with the famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, usually a Norway spruce over 75 feet tall, towering above, adorned with thousands of lights. The tree lighting ceremony in late November is a major event, broadcast nationally, drawing thousands of spectators. Brooklyn Bridge, completed in 1883, was the world's longest suspension bridge when built and remains an engineering marvel and New York icon. Walking across it, the pedestrian walkway elevated above the traffic offers spectacular views of lower Manhattan skyline, the East River, Brooklyn, and the bridge's Gothic arches and steel cables. Over 120,000 vehicles and 4,000 pedestrians cross daily. The bridge has appeared in countless films and photographs, and walking it at sunset, the city glowing golden, the cables creating geometric patterns against the sky, is an essential New York experience. Coney Island at Brooklyn's southern tip is a faded but still charming seaside amusement area. The Cyclone roller coaster, Nathan's famous hot dogs, the boardwalk, and the beach draw New Yorkers seeking ocean air and nostalgia. New York's energy is unlike anywhere else. This is a city of ambition, where people come to make it big in finance, fashion, media, art, theater, cuisine, or any other field where being the best matters. It's expensive, obscenely, impossibly expensive, with median rents that would pay for mansions elsewhere. It's crowded, personal space is a luxury. It's loud, dirty, chaotic, stressful. But it's also magical. Where else can you see world-class art for free at museum donation hours, stumble upon street performances by Juilliard students, eat authentic food from 100 different countries, attend a Broadway show, walk through history, and feel connected to the entire world? The subway system, 472 stations connected by over 660 miles of track, is how New York moves. It runs 24/7, unlike most transit systems that shut down at night. It's dirty, it's crowded, it breaks down. Rats occasionally run across the tracks. Musicians perform in the cars and on platforms. But it works, moving more than 5 million people daily. The subway is the great equalizer. Billionaires and homeless people, tourists and lifetime residents all share the same space, subject to the same delays, participating in the same peculiar social contract. Don't make eye contact, don't take up too much space. Let people off before boarding, and whatever you do, don't block the doors. As we leave Manhattan, the skyline receding in the rearview mirror, we understand why Frank Sinatra sang, "If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere." New York demands everything from those who live there: money, energy, resilience, adaptation. But it gives back possibilities, opportunities, experiences, and memories that nowhere else can match. Love it or hate it, New York is the center of the world, and having experienced it even briefly, you've touched something essential about modern human civilization: the crowding together of millions of people from everywhere, all pursuing their dreams, all creating the chaotic, magnificent, impossible, inevitable phenomenon that is New York City.
Leaving the vertical intensity of Manhattan behind, we head northeast into New England, embarking on a journey of approximately 200 miles that takes us from America's largest metropolis to one of its most elegant coastal retreats. The drive from New York City to Newport, Rhode Island is a transition from urban energy to seaside sophistication, from concrete and steel to ocean and elegance. The route takes us through Connecticut, skirting the Long Island Sound coastline. The landscape gradually softens, the density decreases. We're entering true New England now. Crossing into Rhode Island, America's smallest state, barely 40 miles wide, the character shifts again. Rhode Island is simultaneously working class and aristocratic, industrial and refined, gritty and elegant, often within the same town. Newport, Rhode Island, a small city with an outsized place in American history and culture. Founded in 1739 as a haven for religious freedom, Newport evolved through centuries from colonial port to Gilded Age summer retreat to modern sailing capital. What Newport is most famous for are the magnificent summer cottages built between 1880 and 1914 by America's wealthiest families. Calling them cottages is remarkable understatement. These are palatial estates that rival European castles. The Cliff Walk, a 4-mile public path along the coastline, offers spectacular views of both the Atlantic Ocean crashing against rocky cliffs and the backs of these great estates. It's wonderfully democratic, completely free, allowing everyone to experience Newport's beauty. Newport is also sailing royalty. The America's Cup was defended here from 1930 to 1983, and though the Cup eventually left, Newport remains one of the world's premier sailing destinations. The harbor fills with yachts, prestigious regattas happen throughout summer, and sailing culture permeates everything. Newport forces us to grapple with American complexity, the beauty and craftsmanship of dimensions alongside the inequality that made them possible, the celebration of sailing excellence alongside naval military tradition, the preservation of history alongside modern tourism. It's a small city telling large stories about wealth, aspiration, beauty, and the enduring appeal of the ocean.
Cape Cod, that hook-shaped peninsula extending 65 miles into the Atlantic Ocean from southeastern Massachusetts. Cape Cod has been attracting visitors for generations, artists seeking inspiration from the unique light and seascapes, writers looking for a quiet retreat, families seeking beach vacations, and wealthy Northeasterners maintaining summer homes. But Cape Cod isn't just a tourist destination, it's a living place with year-round residents, working fishermen, real communities, and a history stretching back to the Wampanoag people who lived here for thousands of years before European contact. Cape Cod's beaches are legendary. On the bay side, facing Cape Cod Bay, the water is calmer, warmer, and better for families with small children. On the ocean side, facing the open Atlantic, the surf is bigger, the water colder, and the beaches wider and more dramatic. The dunes, some rising over 100 feet, shift constantly with wind and tide, creating a never-changing landscape. Walking these beaches, especially off-season when they're nearly empty, with the Atlantic stretching endlessly to the horizon, is meditative and restorative. Cape Cod's towns are quintessentially New England. The lighthouses scattered along Cape Cod's shores are both functional and iconic. These lighthouses weren't just picturesque, they were essential, warning ships away from dangerous shores that claimed hundreds of vessels over the centuries. Today, automated and maintained by preservation societies, they remain navigation aids while also serving as symbols of Cape Cod's maritime heritage. The Cape's artistic tradition is strong. The unique quality of the light, soft, clear, with the ocean's reflected brightness, attracted artists starting in the late 19th century. Contemporary artists still flock here, and galleries in Wellfleet, Provincetown, and other towns showcase painting, sculpture, photography, and crafts. Cape Cod represents a particular version of the American ideal. It's a place where natural beauty is still valued, where community matters, where tradition persists alongside change, where you can eat a lobster roll while watching the sunset over the water and understand why people have been coming here for generations and will continue coming for generations more. A ferry ride from Hyannis across Nantucket Sounds brings us to Martha's Vineyard, an island of about 100 square miles lying 7 miles south of Cape Cod, with a year-round population of around 17,000 that swells to over 200,000 in summer. The Vineyard, as locals call it, has long been a summer destination for the wealthy, famous, and powerful, while also maintaining working-class communities, artistic enclaves. The vineyard comprises 6 towns, each with distinct character. Edgartown, the oldest settlement, exudes old money New England elegance, pristine white captains' houses with black shutters, brick sidewalks, impeccably maintained gardens, and a harbor filled with expensive yachts. Walking through the campground feels like entering another world, another time, where neighbors live intimately close and community matters more than privacy. The Black Dog Tavern, originally opened in 1971 as a local pub, became famous and spawned a merchandise empire. Those Black Dog t-shirts and hats are everywhere, a ubiquitous symbol of Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard's beaches range from gentle, family-friendly shores to dramatic, wave-pounded coastline. South Beach in Edgartown, facing the open Atlantic, offers powerful surf and long stretches of sand. Katama Beach, also called South Beach or 3 Mile Beach, is exactly what it sounds like: 3 miles of barrier beach with ocean on one side and Katama Bay on the other. Martha's Vineyard has always attracted writers and intellectuals. Poet Robert Lowell, author William Styron, journalist Walter Cronkite, comedian John Belushi, buried in Abels Hill Cemetery on Chilmark, and countless others have made the vineyard their summer home or permanent residence. The island has over a dozen bookstores, numerous galleries, and a cultural life that rivals much larger places. But Martha's Vineyard faces real challenges. Housing affordability is a crisis. Year-round residents struggle to find affordable housing as property values skyrocket and investors convert homes to vacation rentals. Young people who grew up on the island often can't afford to stay. Working-class families are being priced out. The island's economy depends heavily on tourism and summer people, creating seasonal employment but few year-round well-paying jobs. The environmental impact of so many summer visitors strains infrastructure and natural resources. Water quality, overdevelopment, traffic congestion during peak season, loss of community character as local businesses are replaced by upscale boutiques. These issues provoke passionate debate among year-round residents who love the island and want to preserve what makes it special, while recognizing that economic survival requires accommodating tourism. The vineyard's natural beauty remains its greatest asset. The beaches, though crowded in summer, offer solitude and beauty in the off-season. The light, like Cape Cod's, has a particular quality that photographers and painters find irresistible: soft, clear, luminous. Martha's Vineyard is ultimately about contrasts and contradictions. It's exclusive yet accessible, at least in some parts. Wealthy yet working class, developed yet natural, crowded yet offering solitude, famous yet private. As we board the ferry back to the mainland, Oak Bluffs shrinking in the distance, the vineyard's low profile settling into the horizon, we understand why people return here year after year, generation after generation. The vineyard offers something increasingly rare: a place that, despite development pressures and social changes, retains essential character, natural beauty, and a sense of community that money can't easily buy, but that people will pay dearly to experience, even if just for a few weeks each summer. Boston, the cradle of liberty, the Athens of America, one of America's oldest cities and its intellectual capital, where revolution was plotted, where independence was sparked, where American higher education reached its zenith, and where history feels present, alive, and still relevant. With a population of about 700,000 in the city proper and about 5 million in the greater metropolitan area, Boston is the region's economic and cultural heart. Founded in 1630 by Puritan colonists, Boston became the capital of the Massachusetts Bay Colony and quickly established itself as a center of commerce, learning, and religious life. But it's Boston's role in the American Revolution that defines its historical importance and civic identity. This is where the Sons of Liberty organized resistance to British rule. This is where the Boston Massacre happened in 1770, when British soldiers fired on a crowd, killing 5 colonists. This is where the Boston Tea Party took place in 1773, when colonists dumped 342 chests of British tea into Boston Harbor to protest taxation without representation. This is where the shot heard around the world was fired in nearby Lexington and Concord in 1775, starting the Revolutionary War. The Freedom Trail, a 2.5-mile red brick path winding through downtown Boston, connects 16 historically significant sites, allowing visitors to literally walk through the American Revolution. Starting at Boston Common, America's oldest public park, established in 1634, the trail takes you through 4 centuries of Boston history, with each site offering insights into the people and events that shaped the nation. But Boston is far more than revolutionary history. It's America's premier education city, home to over 50 colleges and universities. Harvard University, founded in 1636 in Cambridge, just across the Charles River from Boston proper, is America's oldest institution of higher learning and one of the world's most prestigious universities. Harvard Yard, the campus's historic core, with its brick buildings and centuries-old trees, is academic gravitas made manifest. MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also in Cambridge, is where cutting-edge science and engineering research happens. The campus along the Charles River, with its mix of classical and strikingly modern architecture, represents human knowledge pushing boundaries. Countless technological innovations have emerged from MIT labs: radar, the World Wide Web's development, advances in artificial intelligence, and much more. Over 250,000 students attend college in the Boston area, giving the city a youthful energy and progressive politics that contrast with more conservative areas of New England. The Boston Public Library, founded in 1848 as America's first large free municipal library, is housed in a magnificent McKim Building, 1895, in Copley Square. The library's interior is spectacular. Murals by John Singer Sargent, sculptures by Augustus Saint-Gaudens, a beautiful courtyard inspired by Italian Renaissance palazzos, and reading rooms that treat knowledge as something sacred. This is a library that believes books are and learning deserve beautiful spaces. Trinity Church in Copley Square, designed by Henry Hobson Richardson and completed in 1877, is considered one of America's finest examples of Richardsonian Romanesque architecture. The church's interior, with its stunning murals and stained glass, creates a space of profound beauty. Beacon Hill, with its brick row houses, gas lamps, narrow streets, and Acorn Street, often called America's most photographed street, is Boston at its most elegantly preserved. Boston's Irish heritage is profound and visible. The Irish arrived in huge numbers during and after the Great Famine of the 1840s, facing discrimination and poverty, but eventually becoming a major force in Boston politics and culture. Boston struggles with its own contradictions and challenges. It has a complicated racial history. Busing to desegregate schools in the 1970s caused violent conflicts and white flight. The city remains relatively segregated by neighborhood. Housing costs have skyrocketed, pushing out working-class families. The city's progressive politics sometimes clash with its provincial attitudes, but Boston remains essential to understanding America. This is where American ideals of liberty, democracy, and self-governance were conceived and fought for. This is where American literature, philosophy, and education reached heights rarely matched since. This is where tradition and innovation coexist, sometimes uncomfortably but productively. Boston is proud of its history, sometimes to the point of being insufferable about it, but that pride is earned. No American city, except perhaps Philadelphia, can claim such direct, essential connection to the founding of the nation. As we conclude our journey through the Northeast and Southern Canada, Boston feels like an appropriate endpoint. From Toronto's modern multiculturalism to Niagara's natural power, from Washington's political importance to Philadelphia's revolutionary heritage, from the New York's unmatched dynamism to Cape Cod's coastal beauty, from Martha's Vineyard's elegance to Boston's historical depth. We've traveled through geography, history, and culture that defines much of North America's story. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey from Toronto to Boston, from urban centers to island retreats, from natural wonders to historical sites, from the power of Niagara to the charm of Cape Cod. These places aren't just destinations, they're chapters in the ongoing story of North America, and now they're part of your story too. Until the next adventure, keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop being curious about this remarkable world we share.